Hi, this is how to batch print Google Drive files automatically in a batch list or a hot folder, so when a file appears on Google Drive it can automatically print it with batch and print. So to do this, say if you want to print a list first, you click on Help, HTML Help. If you go down the main list, you can see Cloud Printing from Google Drive, and that will give you a step-by-step example of how to set it up. Once it's set up once, the access to Google Drive, then it's quite easy to reuse for later. But the setup itself is quite complicated, but like I say, once it's set up, that's it. So to do this, you go into File menu, Add Shared Cloud Files to List, Google Drive Files. On here, there's a link to the Google API. So once that's loaded up, I'm going to create a new project. And click Create, give it any name you want. So like I say, if you just follow the instructions here, now you need to go to the dashboard on the left hand screen, and you need to enable APIs and services. This gives it access to the type of service you want, which is Google Drive. Scroll down, left mouse on Google Drive API, click Enable. That's now enabled for that project. So the next thing is Auth Consent Screen. As you can't see it now because it's just added the API. This is actually the API screen. So you need to go back. So go back, back, and back again, and back again. So you need to click on Auth Consent Screen, External, Create. So type in your app name, which is going to be batch print. The email address. The email address is the one, tends to be the one that actually is set up for Google Drive. Save and continue. So click on Scopes, Add Remove Scopes. Now you should have a list up here now of Google Drive API information. So you need this one here. So view and manage Google Drive files, folders I've opened or created with this app. Scroll down, click Update. You should see it there. Save and continue. You need to add users. These are the users that have access to it. Then click Add. So you should see one user there. Save and continue. So that's now set up. Now I go to credentials. Create credentials. Auth client ID. Now it's a web application. Top one. Give it any name you want. Add URI. So I need to go on the help, and the information is there, what you need to put in there. This redirects it back to the local machine. Now this is the information you need in the software. So you can copy that. So you type in a file name for the JSON file there, and create an edit, client ID, paste that, and then copy the next one down, paste that, then you want to click Create JSON Access Token File. So this will go through the actual access. This only happens once. Continue. Allow. Allow again. So that will come back with success. So now that's created, you should be able to type in the path on Google Drive. So we've got 3 files there in the folder. So you can put in the folder like that structure. When you're doing the shared directory, make sure you do forward slashes, not backward slashes, for it to work. You don't actually need one at the end. You can just put in like test app, but I'm going to add it like that. So it's found the 3 files on the Google Drive. So you can put in just, like I say, test app for the folder. So add that again. And when it's finished, it'll say complete. You just click cancel. And now you can print. Now if you scroll across, you can see the add-on parameters have been preset. This is the actual link to the JSON file set up. So you can actually save this list as a batch file and reload it in later and print, because at this stage it hasn't actually downloaded the files to print yet. The reason why it has an ID afterwards is because Google Drive can have the same file name but a different version, so the ID separates the versions. So now just click print like normal. What happens is it downloads a file to temporary file and prints it out. So you can see all that's working perfectly. So now what you can do is you can reuse that JSON file what's been set up in Directory Monitor, so you can hot folder monitor. So if you scroll down in Directory Setup, go into Cloud Shares, click on Google Drive, you type in the JSON name, which was test5.json. You want to check logs so you don't repeat print. And I'm going to do test app folder again. So once that is set up, you don't need to do the Google ID because you did it beforehand. That's actually for creating the JSON file. You can click test connection and it should come back with connected OK. So make sure it's turned on. So save and exit. I'm going to right mouse update this profile that's already been added. Now I only want to print file type PDF, so it's only going to scan those PDF files. So I'm going to remove what's been downloaded before in this folder. When it's finished downloading the files, actually will log them to a Cloud Shares log as well, which I'll show you in a second. So it's going to download the files to test app path, which is here on a local machine, and print it to that printer. So now for save and exit, I want to clear the print log because I've printed before, and I want to clear the Cloud Shares log as well. So start from scratch. So it should now find the files on Google Drive. So you can see it's downloading the files there to test that folder where it's matching. It will take a while because it's using internet connection to do this. And then it will print the files out. So if you go into logs, if you go into view Cloud Shares log, you can see where it's downloaded the files from, and output to, and the file size, and the share date and time, and printed date and time. So now if I go to the Google Drive folder, what we'll do, I'm going to add a new file so you can see it actually when you add a new file. So I'm going to add a folder so it doesn't print it out. There's a new file in the folder. So now I'm going to call it my test PDF. So if we go back onto there, I can see it's not going to print it. If I now upload that to Google Drive, so it's starting upload, it's uploaded complete. And if I go back now to here, you can see it's downloaded it already to print. If you go on to the log, you can see it's downloaded the file from Google Drive. That's what time we uploaded it. If you go on to the printer, you can see it's printed it there at the very end. So we'll try that again. A bit more clear next time. So another test. I'm going to drag and drop that. So you can see where it's doing. It's not on there yet. So you should find that in a second. Next cycle. So you see it's downloaded the file there. So Batch and Print Pro will now pick that up as a regular file that's being downloaded in that folder and print it out. And that's it. And give it a try.